Hello, everyone. Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to another episode of the Back of the Pack podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Walker. Thank you so much for joining me. It is Labor Day. I hope everyone's having a great Labor Day weekend. We told you last week we would put a show out today, but we're not going to make it very long. It's just going to be a pretty quick, simple, easy podcast just to kind of keep us rolling. I like keeping consistent. It's kind of like training, with your running training, you want to keep consistent. Same thing with recording podcasts. When you skip a week, it gets real easy to skip a second week, and then you're just kind of getting one podcast out a month, and things can fall off the rails real quick. Ask me how I know, but we're not going to do that. So even though it's Labor Day, we are going to get a podcast out. And again, this is going to be a quick one. However, I think it is going to be kind of an informational one. We're just going to talk about the fall. Okay, we're going to talk about our fall schedule. So today is Labor Day, the unofficial end of summer. I get it. We still have about about 2.5 more weeks left of official summer on the calendar. Then we flip the calendars over to fall, and I get all that. But you know how it is. It's Labor Day. The pools start to close. The kids are back in school. Eventually, we will get to the fall weather. We're definitely not there yet, but eventually we're going to get to the little cooler mornings and things like that. I've seen a couple trees that are already starting to change their color just a hair. So, we're getting there. So I thought today, perfect time. We're just going to go over our fall schedule, kind of let you know where we as the Back of the Pack podcast are going to be. You be wherever you want to be, whatever races you want to do. But I know a lot of people, they maybe haven't heard of a race, or they didn't think of a race, or they didn't know someone who would be there. So we're going to cover all that just real quick today, so you guys kind of know what we as the Back of the Pack podcast are looking like for the fall. And honestly, except for one weekend in October, I have a race, pretty much one race per weekend up until Christmas Eve. I kid you not. So we're going to go into that, but oh, baby, it's going to get a little wild. We're also going to talk about some of the big races around the world, just so that you keep them kind of on your radar in front of you. Again, if you have no desire to run a world marathon major, you can just tune that part out. I still think that they're one of the best experiences I've ever done, and I hope that you will at some point in time in your running journey decide to challenge yourself and take on at least one full marathon, so you can be part of that really cool 1% of people in the world who can say they've done a full marathon. And so I just want to kind of keep them in front of you, just so you know what they look like, when they are, what they might be about. If you saw last week's episode or heard it, again, there's been some changes within the internal dynamics of the Back of the Pack podcast. Won't go into those again. You can listen to last week's episode, the diamond episode, if you will, to hear all about that. But one positive of it is I can now talk about the New York City Marathon again and not catch any flack. So, hey, you know what? That's the thing. I can talk about Boston and New York, and it's going to be great. No one's going to yell at me. So it's going to be fun. But first, I didn't do Metal Monday today on Instagram because I actually posted from this morning's race. We were at the Leawood Labor Day 5K. And so I posted on Instagram, meant to send it from my personal Instagram. Instead, I put it on the Back of the Pack one, which thank you for all the likes. I appreciate that, but I wasn't trying to just selfie up the place. Sorry. But so I didn't do Metal Monday, but I'm going to show you right here on the podcast. Here was the medal from the good folks at the Leawood Rotary Club who did the Leawood Labor Day 5K. So there that is right there. Actually, a very cool medal. The red and the blue are a little bit kind of a stained glass. You can actually kind of see through them. At least I can from this end as I look at you. And so, yeah, cool medal. Well done by them. You know me. I like medals. It's kind of my thing, kind of my jam. So with that, let's go ahead and just start talking about what's coming up. The fall is crazy busy, okay? We're going to go to the official Back of the Pack podcast journal that I have right here, where I write stuff down in. Whoa, never shown this one to you before. Little green book. And if you're wondering why it's a little green book, go watch the show or the movie The Waterboy, and you'll see all about the little green books. Anywho, all right. So today was September 4th. Still is as I record this. Might not be when you hear it. September 4th, 2023, the Labor Day 5K. That is done. That is in the books. I am calling this our first race here in the fall. All right. Next weekend, the Plaza 10K. That's the biggest race around town. Everyone knows about it. It's one of the biggest fall races there is in this area. Only a 10K. There is no 5K. There is no half. It is only a 10K. It's the first race in the Heartland Series, the Heartland 30K Series, the 3 10Ks, 3 weekends in a row, 3 Sundays in a row, to be real honest. Now, there's no Chiefs game next weekend because the Chiefs play on Thursday. So you can get up, you can get out, you can get your miles, and you can get home and be ready for the rest of the NFL schedule if you so desire. I'm going to try and get this book off the table because my camera looks so shaky. After that, haha, on September 17th, the KC Hustle Run. That is our race, folks. That is the race that is brought to you by the Back of the Pack podcast. It has got my cartoon character on the ribbon. I mean, it doesn't get any more a part of this podcast than that race right there. So the KC Hustle Run coming up on September 17th. Please, if you have not signed up for it, I don't know what you're waiting for. But as we speak right now, there's a special. Go find it on social media. You can get $10 off. But man, get yourself signed up. Do not miss this race. As I said, my daughter and I, we are going to sign up. We are signed up now. We will officially be the Back of the Pack. We are going to have a speaker. We are going to just make it a little party. I might even drag a cooler with me or something so we can hand out some waters or whatever on the course. But we are going to make it a little party in the back. And I want everyone to show up and run the 5K, run the 10K. Again, if you're part of the Heartland series, this is the second race. That's September 17th, and that's the KC Hustle Run. And guess what? After that race, I don't have to talk about it anymore. But until we get there, I'm going to talk about it. So then, of course, after that, on September 24th is the new Boulevard 10K, the third race in the Heartland 10K series. Brand new. This race has never been done before, so make sure you get signed up for the Boulevard 10K. You can finish up your Heartland series, get the medal, get the shirt, and run a brand new race. So I'm kind of excited. I like new races. This will be different for us. For Plaza 10K and for Boulevard 10K, like I'll actually be exerting effort. My time is going to be terrible at the KC Hustle Run because, again, I'm going to be the officially unofficial last person to finish. That's going to be my thing. All right, after that, let's continue on. Okay, then we're already in October. What? Yeah, on October 1st, I'll be at the Oktoberfest 5K. That is in Martin City, Missouri. A fun little 5K. Honestly, that is just more about coming out, having a fun morning. It's October 1st, so we're technically in October. The medal is a big pretzel. It's going to be fun. But come get your miles in. Go ahead and get yourself a 5K. And, then it's a good way to start off the month. Next, the weekend after that. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I do have a race in town, but the biggest race going on October 8th, and that is Columbus Day weekend, that is the Bank of America Chicago Marathon. I know several people who are going up to Chicago to be in that race. I hope to be there next year. I'm going to get in the lottery for next year's Chicago Marathon because I really enjoyed that race. I feel like it's one you can definitely do more than once. And if I do it a second time, there's going to be more things that I see, more things I notice. I expect that because I'm in a lot better shape now than I was back in 2018, that I will just have a better overall experience. Not to mention I get Giordano's pizza, and that's really all I look forward to in life these days is the next time I can go to Chicago and have a Giordano's pizza. It's the best in the world. And you can argue me if you want and be wrong. I don't care. But whew, that pizza is great. So whatever's around town, I know there's something. I'll look. I'll find it. It's 5K or 10K. I do believe. So, and then after that, again, we're going out of town again. I have not signed up for this race. I'm thinking about it though. I'm giving it a lot of thought. But on October 15th is the IMT Des Moines Marathon. So that is up in Des Moines. That is in Iowa. That race is the first part of the I-35 Challenge. So the I-35 Challenge is either a half marathon or full marathon. You do it normally, it's the same weekend where you do Des Moines on Saturday and then the Garmin Kansas City on Sunday. And some people will do a half and a half. So back-to-back days of half and half or even back-to-back full and full. This year, because of the way things fall, they are a week apart. So you can still do the I-35 Challenge and you can do it, full, half, but you do Des Moines on the 15th and then the following weekend, you can do the 21st, and that is the Garmin Kansas City Marathon. So if you ever wanted to complete the I-35 Challenge, but yet make it as simple as it can possibly be, if you can call back-to-back halves or full simple, you do it this year when there's a full week in between. Little recovery time there. So on the 15th, you have the IMT Des Moines Marathon up in Des Moines, Iowa. I have heard this race is great. I haven't done it yet. I'm very tempted to sign up for the I-35 Challenge because the weekend after that, and I am definitely signed up for this, is the Garmin Kansas City Marathon. So I am doing the half marathon, so I hope to see everyone there. I know every runner in the Kansas City area will be there for some distance. There's 5K, 10K, half, and full. You guys have heard Dave come on the show before. We have talked Garmin Kansas City Marathon, one of the biggest marathons in the area here in the fall. So do not miss it. Be there or be square. So that is where we will be on October 21st down at the Nelson Atkins Art Museum for the Garmin Kansas City Marathon. Looking forward to it. It is a great day. Following up after that, and this is where life gets crazy, crazy for me. And that's why I'm tempted to do Des Moines, but I have a problem because then that would be 4 half marathons, 4 weeks in a row with 3 of them being traveling. So after that, on October 28th is where a few of us are packing up. We are heading down to Midland, Texas for the Energy City Half Marathon, again in Midland. So I'm super excited. Their theme this year is all Top Gun type stuff. Yep, so Top Gun Maverick came out, what, a year or 2 ago? That movie was awesome, by the way. But their whole theme this year is Top Gun kind of things. So I am really excited for this race. I will get a half marathon taken care of in the great state of Texas. So if you're a Texas fan, go you. I don't know what their college loyalty is down there, so I'm just going to kind of dress all neutral so that nobody can hurt me. I don't know if they're Horned Frogs, Longhorns, Red Raiders. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. Or if someone's watching from down there, let me know what their loyalties are. I'll buy the hat just because I don't want people to get mad at me. But yeah, the Energy City is going to be super fun. Looking forward to that. A new race, a new state. Probably at that point, pretty good weather down there. It might be getting cold up here, but we'll see. And then following that, I go to the other end of the spectrum. Now I'm going way up to Nebraska. I will be in Lincoln, Nebraska for the Good Life Halvesy, and that is on November 5th. Now, I signed up for the Good Life Halvesy when people told me about it. They're like, hey, you've got to do this race. I've heard it's really great. And, it's great reviews. Well, as soon as I signed up for the Good Life Halvesy, then word comes out about the Yeti Marathon Weekend, or the Yeti Challenge, I should say. And that's here locally, and that's in Lee Summit, Missouri. So I'm going up to Lincoln to do the Good Life Halvesy. I know a lot of people are staying local and are going to do the Yeti Weekend. And if you did not hear Brad when he was on the show, the Yeti Challenge weekend, Saturday, you can either run a 5K or a 10K. Your choice. Do what you want. Sunday, you can run a half marathon or a full marathon. So you have the option, of course, of doubling up and doing 5K half or 5K full, 10K half, 10K full, or whatever, and doubling up on your medals. So you'll get, the medal for the 5K, medal for the half, and then medal for doing both. So that's pretty cool. That's a really neat feature. So a lot of time is going to be spent out that weekend at Longview Lake for a lot of people. Looks like a good time. First year for it. I hope it does well. I'm sorry I won't be there, but I already signed up for Good Life Halvesy. And again, I want to do that race, and that will get another state marked off for me of where I've raced. So that's kind of cool as well. So you have options on November 5th. On November 11th, I'm going to go do the Veterans Day 5K. That's in Parkville, Missouri. There's a 5K and a 10K. Actually, I think I'll do the 10K. But there's a lot of stuff going on that weekend. That's just the one I will particularly be doing. But again, Veterans Day weekend. So, if you can find a good themed one, there's also the Veterans Day race down in Lawrence, Kansas. If you prefer to run that, do that. So there's some all over the place, but it'll be a 10K weekend for me, which after all those half marathons, that's just going to be like a sweet treat. Like, oh, just a 10K? Just a 10K? I can't believe I'm done running already. So that'll be nice. Oh, but then we get ridiculous again. So on November 18th is the Loggerhead Half Marathon in Ottawa, Kansas. Did that last year. It was super cold. Man, it was cold and windy, but a great course. Like, I really like the course. It's another one of those crushed gravel, crushed limestone courses, but real small, not big chunks of rock. So it was very easy to run on. Tree lined, which is good because it was a very windy day, so that helped fight a lot of the wind off. But the Ottawa one, the Loggerhead, you can still sign up for that and sign up and get the hoodie, man. They do great on their hoodies. Their hoodies are nice. I was super jelly I did not get one last year. That was my mistake. I rectified that mistake for this year. So Loggerhead, that is the weekend before Thanksgiving. So make sure you get signed up and you're down in Ottawa, Kansas for that race. Good race. Would love to see more people there. On the 23rd, that is Thanksgiving. I personally am at the Ward Parkway Thanksgiving Day run, 5K, 10K. There's options there. Haven't decided what distance I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to be at that race. I am often there with Team Fidelis, the veteran outreach organization that I volunteer with. We'll probably be doing the flag before the race and then I'll run one of the distances. And then when I'm done with one of those distances, I will be off to my annual Thanksgiving Day football game that 20 years ago we took super serious. Now all the kids have taken over, and we just kind of stand around and watch and still have a good time. But good to see my extended friendship family out there, and we play football every year. Run around for a little bit, call it done, go home, shower up, and eat food. So that will be Thanksgiving, and yeah, I can't believe we're already talking about Thanksgiving, but it's part of fall, so that's what we're talking about. All right, after that, okay, after that, on December 2nd, we are traveling yet again to Memphis, Tennessee for the St. Jude Memphis Marathon weekend. Be down there doing the full Memphis Marathon, the full St. Jude Marathon. Anyone else who wants to go and do that nonsense with me, you are 100% invited. We'd love to see you there, just so I'm not alone in doing something completely ridiculous like running a full marathon in December. Hopefully the weather's very nice down there. I've seen videos from that race, and I know some people a little more cold-blooded than me, they might need to bundle up a little more, but boy, there's a lot of people pretty bundled up. So I imagine it could get a little chilly there on race morning. But hey, we're gonna do a full marathon in December. Who knows what happens? And you know what's really driving me nuts on this video? My hat is as straight as I can possibly make it, but on this video, it looks crooked as can be. And I was just noticing that. Sorry. Jeez Louise. But anyway, so that is December 2nd, the St. Jude Memphis Marathon weekend. Yikes. That's going to be here before I know it. We're going to come back from that, and hopefully they're going to come back on the podcast this year. I need to reach out to our buddy Chris, but we will be at the KC Santa Dash in Westport. That is a fun event. If you guys have not done the KC Santa Dash in Westport, I highly recommend it. Let's get everybody signed up. Again, Chris came on the show last year. We talked about it. Love to have him on again so we can talk about it again. But I'll be out there for that. This year, I do plan on doing kind of what we're making a tradition down in Westport. Probably go to Kelly's after the race is done, raise a glass to the holidays. How about that? And I would love to hang out with some of you guys after the race and, you know, have an adult beverage if you are so inclined, or at least a water or soda if that is more your speed, whatever works. But had a lot of fun at the end of the St. Patrick's Day race, same course basically, staying at Kelly's, and I would love to do that again. Not celebrating a birthday this time. It would just be nice to raise a drink to the holiday season. Next, after that, is the Great Santa Run. I know a lot of Christmas-themed runs, go figure. The Great Santa Run, as I've told you before, has a very soft place in my heart because in 2010, the Great Santa Run at Johnson County Community College was the first 5K I ever did. And so I try and do that race every year because it just is a constant reminder of how I started versus how I've been going, where I'm going, how it's gone, how it's been. So that is always a special race to me. So I'm looking forward to that. On December 17th, the Great Santa Run, still at Johnson County Community College. The course has changed a little bit, but still really the same area. And so I look forward to being back at that race this year. Always a good time. Yeah, I look forward to it. That one's going for me. And then the next 2 weeks after that, it's the holidays, y'all. You know, Christmas Eve is a week after the Great Santa Dash. So no races on Christmas Eve. Even if there was, I'm not doing it. Now, after that is, of course, New Year's Eve. That one, we had a race last year, the time travel weekend done by Body's Race Company on New Year's Eve. You could run some distances, and then on New Year's Day, you could run some distances. And then if you did want to beach, of course, special medal, blah, blah, blah. You know how the deal goes at this point. They have yet to announce, but they kind of historically hold off on announcing until things get closer than I think they should. So just leave it open. That weekend could still happen. There still could be one of the time travel events. We'll see. It is not announced yet. If it is, I will be there because I like the idea of doing a race on New Year's Eve. That's where I did it last year. Do I want to do one on New Year's Day? I could. I'm not a big New Year's partier. I'm not an amateur. I don't go out that one night a year. Oh, New Year's Eve, yay. Whatever. It's another day. But on New Year's Day, I know there are several options of races to run. So you'll just have to see what's right for you. We'll see if they do another time travel. We'll see if the hangover half is still a thing. Again, not yet announced, but that doesn't mean it won't be there. I know we're reaching out, we're getting far, and at that point we're technically in winter. I was just trying to take us through the rest of the year. So as you can see, through all this nonsense that I just put out there, there is a lot of running to be done between now and the end of the year. And then just a couple more dates. On September 24th is the Berlin Marathon. I'm wearing the hat that I got made for Berlin last year, but I'm not going to be able to run it this year. Oh, why does traveling have to be so expensive? Why is everything so expensive right now? He asks out loud. So that is on September 24th. Anyone doing Berlin, good luck, man, good luck. And then November 5th is the New York Marathon. Again, the biggie up in New York. Anyone running that, a special good luck. And then I was trying to look for lottery dates just to keep you updated. We just got done with the Tokyo window. We'll learn about that soon. And then Chicago and New York, kind of as soon as we flip the calendars in 2024, be ready, because then you can get yourself entered in those lotteries. It happens very early in the year so that you have time to prepare. Again, with Chicago being in October and New York being in November. So they give you plenty of time. And then the Boston ones, we've been on that. You can be submitting your time now, and then officially here in September, the actual registration opens. And then also keep an eye. You guys saw me do it, but look out for those charities. The charity spots will start opening up here in the fall, and you can try and hop on a charity team and start raising money so that hopefully you can do the Boston Marathon. I'm not going to try and do it again. I'm done asking you guys for financial help. I promise. Because again, you guys made a dream come true for me when we did Boston this year. I'm not doing it next year. So already there's one spot opened up for somebody to take, and I would love it if you guys could take my spot. The Boston Athletic Association, their charity, where I met amazing people who I love to this day. There's going to be a spot available. Feel free to name drop me. Say, hey, Kyle last year, he did it. Let me do it this year. Yeah, do that. Do that if you try and go through that charity. But there's tons of worthy, great charities. So if you have a desire to run Boston and you'll never qualify with time, let's get going on that charity. I told you I will be the first guy to donate your direction. So I will do my best to help get you to that starting line in Hopkinton come April, because it is worth it. It was worth all the begging and pleading and groveling that I had to do to come up with that money. It was totally worth it in the end to be able to do that race. So that's where we're at. I will keep you updated as lotteries open and become available, because trust me, I want you to go. I really want you to run Chicago, run New York, run Boston, run Tokyo, run Berlin, run London, whatever you can do. I want you there if you want to do these races. Once in a lifetime experiences for someone like me. So there's not going to be too many repeats. Although I am going to try to get in the Chicago lottery for next year. That is one of my goals. Might be one of the few long races I do next year. We'll see how it goes. So there it is. That's just our quick little welcome to fall, happy Labor Day episode of the Back of the Pack podcast. I told you this was going to be short, although it feels like I've been rattling on for a while now. I don't know how long this has been. There really should be a clock on my screen. But yeah, next week is a Plaza 10K, so we'll talk to you after that. And then we'll be 1 week away from the KC Hustle Run. Yikes! And I want to see you all at that race. Okay? Okay. So this has been the Back of the Pack podcast. I am your host, Kyle Walker. It is my pleasure as always. We'll be back next week to talk about the Plaza 10K and then whatever else crosses our little minds. Until then, it's another hot week in Kansas City coming up. Hey, every time at this point, I'm hoping it's the last hot week in Kansas City and we can start getting some seasonable weather. So just be really careful this week. It is going to be hot. Hydrate well. Be careful. Watch yourself. Don't overheat. All the good stuff. You know this spiel. You know how it goes. We'll see you next week. Everyone be safe. Have a good one.